in a sense, even though you have people who are new to Evans County and to the school system, you have to buy into the heritage, the culture of being a Claxton Tiger. I mean, Mac, you know as well as I do. I mean, that black and gold runs deep. I don't care where you go.
Yeah, that was my next question. You still got it?
I still got the shot.
This was more of like a podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
we
thank
need to
you.
get that out to the community.
Like when you gonna be able to drop these?
Can we make it a law if you get on Facebook, you have to watch this podcast? If you're in Evans County, if you're in 912, you have to watch this for the next 15
You don't have.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, we're taking a break out of this week.
Yeah.
I'm taking a break. I'm tired of running people down, messaging them. Hey, you come on our podcast. All right, so welcome to the show. It's 912 Crew Sports. We have Mac Edwards, Jordy Tippins. We got our guests Ryan Tomblin and Jaron Lewis. We are excited to have Ryan here because I feel like you're a Claxton sports historian.
A staple.
Yeah.
I don't have any cash on me, but as soon as I can get some, I'll pay both of you for saying that. I appreciate it.
You know what else? Lineage.
Yeah.
He has
Oh,
Evans
wow.
County lineage.
I went to the girls' football flag football game, and I was just walking up. I was communicating with Anna, sorry, and I do that all the time. And he walked me in, and that's where I met you. And appreciate you walking me in and kind of showing me where to go or whatever. But anyways, correct me if I'm wrong, but I got some stats or some things that I think you did just via the internet. Anyways,
Oh, Lord.
I know, right? You graduated in CHS in 1995.
Shouts out to class of 95, 30 years.
Yes,
Yeah.
wow. That's good.
You also, after Claxton, you went to Savannah State University, graduated from there.
I love my SSU.
01, okay. You coached at Claxton from 01 to 02, or is it 2000 to 02?
From 99 to 04.
99
First
to
time.
04. Okay, you had Elite Eight appearances, Final Four, state runner-up in 02. You also went to Albany High School.
Albany High.
Albany High. Shout out.
Sweet Jimmy's hot dogs.
That is a staple. You talking about a staple? That is a staple.
Yeah.
And trust me, I got it right here.
We've been there, a little nervous, but we made it out of there alive.
Listen, I promise you, if you go, you will always go back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah, I lived in Albany for 6 years, so Albany High.
Yep. Sweet 16 in 2011, Elite 8 in 2012.
Absolutely.
Right on. I'm nailing this. From there, it looks like you came back to Claxton in 2017.
I did. I actually came back. I was at Please Don't Shoot Me. I was at Meta for one season.
Oh, whoa.
And then I went back to Albany, and I was at Monroe Comprehensive High School. And then, of course, I came back in 2017 to take over the head girls basketball, and came back. I actually didn't realize it, but I became interim head track coach for one season. That didn't last long. I became an assistant, and then, of course, football. That same year, my cousin, who's actually going in the third round, Coach Tony Welch. He's at Jenkins High now, and he and DeAndre Williams and Christopher Oglesby. I actually coached DeAndre, but Christopher Oglesby coached alongside of us. All three of them at Jenkins now, but all of us came at the same time. DeAndre was here, and Coach Oglesby, Coach Welch, and myself came to Claxton. So, been back since 2017. So,
Awesome.
it's good to be back home.
That's awesome.
Yep. And you coached, when you came back, you coached women's basketball, girls basketball?
6 years.
6 years?
6
Okay.
years.
And your current role right now is AD?
District athletic director. So I've been middle school athletic director for almost 5 years, and then of course this year, right before school started, I assumed the role of AD for both middle and high school. So it's
Cool.
it's challenging to say the least.
Right.
I want to go back real quick. You mentioned Albany High School. Mr. Randy Roderick coached at Albany. He was a head basketball coach at Albany High School. The guy who he played college ball with, Coach Archie Chapman, they were still good friends. And when I moved to Albany, Randy definitely looked out for me. So awesome. He has helped me in more ways than one. And many times me coming back here, he was very instrumental in my coaching career and just as a all-around person. So definitely want to give him a shout out and this entire family.
Awesome dude.
Yeah, Southwest Georgia was good to me. Coach Chapman, all those guys.
I'm a little hurt that his son's trying BA right now, but other than that, that's like now that that's a role in my life now. I think that hatred towards BA is almost as much as we hated Metter.
Oh, yeah.
Almost. Almost.
Yeah, that was tough.
That was a tough thing.
That's a tough one.
All right, I got some general easy questions for you to start.
Good.
What was your first job in high school? Did you have a job in high school?
I did. Yes, listen, I'm a teacher's kid, so
Right.
we weren't very privileged. We had to work, despite what people may have thought. Ron and Doris Tomlin made me work. My first job, I sold Cokes and cooked hamburgers at Georgia Southern football games.
Okay.
Shout out to Miss Ann Britt. Miss Britt and my mother taught together at Claxton Middle School. Miss Britt
Sounds familiar.
Miss Ann Britt, she taught at the middle school for years.
Yeah, she was there.
Miss Britt got me a job. We were selling Cokes, and that was when they sold Cokes in the stands, and they would put about 20 Cokes on a cart. And they were, Coke and ice.
That'd be a great job. Something like a Braves game.
Yeah, so
Until you put the steps
you put the steps in, and you're at Paulson Stadium. It's not the way it is now, but I mean, it's still you're looking out, and the only thing that's in your mind isn't so much about selling these drinks. It's not falling with all these drinks, because you look at it and you like, okay, those drinks were like $2. This was back in 1990. I'm sure they're a lot more now. I was like, oh my God, if I waste all these drinks. So that was a great job to have because I was very focused. I graduated after 1 year. Oh, your forearms get real strong.
Yeah.
Because you only get $2. You got $2 per crate, and they put 20 drinks on there.
Wow.
Really?
Yes.
Dang.
Yes. So
You didn't have to go to the hill and sell them.
No.
Okay.
You just stayed in the stands on the student side.
If you were able to balance all of that walking down that hill, you're a bad man. That's all I got to say.
And you think Paulson Stadium on a Saturday afternoon gets to rocking, and you see and you hear everything as a teenager.
imagine that.
And I was like, oh my God, this is.
Get me out of here.
I'm like, let me hurry up and get this. And so I graduated to flipping burgers. So I learned how to cook real hamburgers. Her husband, Mr. Gene Britt.
Which I will say, we had our GRPA district tournament. We had the grill fired up out there.
That's where I learned. So my first job helped me. Yes.
But he had it right too.
So that was my first job. God, man, that's been 35 years ago.
Wow.
All right. Second question. What sport did you love most growing up and why?
That's a tough one. I loved it all. Basketball became. I love football more, but basketball became the easiest for me. It came natural. Wasn't a great basketball player, average, but I think when you grow up, Mac mentioned lineage. When you grow up in your uncle's a basketball, football, baseball genius, you learn to develop a love for it. And so even as a kid, I never really looked at the game the same. I always looked at it through the lenses of a coach because I was always around coaches.
Right.
That's right.
So all of my influences were coaches. So as a player, you're around coaches who are talking sports. So you're using the terminology that a coach would use. And so I would go to practice and mention something about the short corner, and my teammates would look at me like, man, what are you talking about, the short corner? But, you learn basketball terminology. So basketball probably became the mainstay. It became easy to me. I did it all the time. Dirt court. I played at the park some, not very much. I mean, I had my own goals. So I think the guys who played at the park, my hat is off to them. I played on dirt, so my grandmother, my house and my grandmother's house, My grandmother actually took a bicycle tire and she nailed it to a tree.
Oh my gosh.
Yes,
That
we
was your
had.
hoop?
That was my hoop.
Oh, no.
And I learned how to use a soccer ball to dribble with, tennis ball, what have you. And we had a German Shepherd named Castro. And Castro was by the tree, and he had a long, thick chain. So I guess what made me pretty, I guess, okay is that I was afraid that if the ball got near Castro's plate, it couldn't get to Castro. And if the ball got her to Castro, he would never bother me. My uncle was out there, but he would keep the ball there and he would nudge it.
Like,
He would
come on.
nudge the ball and he's like, okay, do I go over there and get that ball from Castro, or do I just go inside and so you learn to get a little bit better when you're afraid of a German Shepherd.
That's
yeah.
right.
All right, I know this is going to be tough because there's so many options, but what's your go-to lunch spot on a busy day in Claxton?
You know what?
Tough.
Yeah.
Lunchroom, man. High school lunchroom.
It has to be that. I don't really eat lunch anymore.
Right.
I really, when I worked at Harris Barbecue, that was my second job. So yeah, shout out to Mr. Lee Smith, Joey. Joey and I grew up together working at Harris. Harris would be it. I think prior to Hootie's Hoagies was always my go-to, and
Yes.
that hurt my heart when he closed,
I
man.
know.
I can still taste that manna sub, man.
Yeah,
A manna right now will be, and then Paradise Squares.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I used to go there at the school. Me and Shelby Griffin would go there and get the Paradise Square and we ate it first.
Yes, you have to eat the Paradise Square. And if you go to Harry's, the same thing with that chewy cake. You got to eat the chewy cake first. You can't eat it second. You got to eat that first. So it's obviously Harry's now since that. Sometimes Crispy Chick just because it's in close proximity if I'm out and about, but Harry's is always going to be a staple. I mean, that's
Solid.
yeah.
What are some must-have side dishes on Thanksgiving for you?
Oh.
I don't want to hear about the
Collard
turkey.
greens
Yes.
is the first one.
Yes.
You cannot have and you have to do collard greens. You have to use smoked neck bones. You have to go to Mike's Meat and get smoked neck bones and boil them. I make the greens now. I learned from my grandmother how to make greens. So collard greens is a must. Obviously mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Everybody's big on dressing. I'll eat it. I mean,
I'm not in that world.
if I don't have it, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
cry about it.
Same.
What else? You guys are gonna probably throw me out of here when I say this next one, but it's been a staple in my family. Chitlins, not chitterlings. Chitlins. Yes, you gotta have them with rice. Rice and chitlins. You actually don't even need meat if you got chitlins.
Yeah.
So those are. If I don't have anything else, if I have chitlins and rice and collard greens, you can take everything. You can take everything else.
I've cleaned chitlins before.
That is not the best job.
That is an awful job.
It is an awful job, but it's the best tasting food. So yes.
I gotta get some.
My grandmother made me clean chitlins with her as a child.
My grandmother cleaned them, and it would smell the entire house up. But you know what? It was like it was torture.
Yeah, I can remember there's two things that my grandmother was a cook. I mean, there's people all over this community she cooked for. The two things she cooked in my childhood that has ruined me was chitlins the first time she ever made me help her clean them. Because I ate them up until I cleaned them.
Oh, yeah.
Then that was just, I couldn't do it anymore. The second thing was chicken feet.
Ooh.
She messed
Chicken paws.
She
Yeah.
messed me up
Oh, my
on
God.
the chicken feet. She
Yeah.
gnawed them. God.
My great grandmother used
They
to
use that word,
Yeah.
gnaw.
No, that's it.
Yeah.
See, gnaw is different than chew. Cause gnaw you go into the bone. That's what the bone is. The bone. That's what the gnaw is. You can't when somebody say you gnawing on something.
Yeah.
I mean, like God, oh,
Good picture for this section. That's what I always ask people when we go to a steak restaurant and I get the T-bone. Like, man, you gonna look at me different if I know on the phone.
yeah. You got to get every bit of it.
Yeah. That's pretty good. Pretty good stuff.
Yeah. Favorite like college or pro team? Like you follow any pro teams? You follow a college team? Who's your the team outside the Tigers? What team do you follow?
All my teams are the most hated teams. All of them, all my pro teams, and I'm gonna use the major league the last because I want to get off this property safely. So I'm gonna let the MLB be the last one. Yeah, because Jaren's sitting to my right, and we buddies. Jaren and I go back 30 years. So I want to stay in good graces with Jaren. College basketball, Duke Blue Devils. I've been a Duke Blue Devil fan since 1982, when they signed Johnny Dawkins, and they did real quick. They did a special during the COVID period, and it was the class that saved Coach K. I tell anybody, if you ever those 30 for 30 shows, if you ever really want to watch a real good documentary, because it tells you like people look at Mike Krzyzewski now as the GOAT, but when he came to Duke, he was a nobody because he was in a conference with Dean Smith and Jim Valvano, two of the biggest personalities in college sports. I mean, he had Lefty Driesell at Maryland. So he had all these great coaches, and he goes 9-16 at Army the year before he takes the Duke job.
Wow.
He gets the Duke job, and they're up against Ralph Sampson at Virginia, Michael Jordan. They just win, they win the national championship in 82. Then Valvano wins it in 83. So they're the laughingstock of college basketball. Right. But they call it the class that saved Coach K, and he had 5 guys. And I never forget the guy, Johnny Dawkins. He's a head basketball coach at Central Florida. He said his dad told him when Krzyzewski came to recruit him, said, if you can play, they'll find you. If you can play, because he was kind of like on the fence about, do I go to Duke or do I go to these other schools? And it was a piece. And so I've been a Duke fan. If Duke comes on, don't bother me. Do not call me. I will send you strictly the voicemail. Yeah. Football, I've been a Dogs fan since 1980. My dad and I were huge Georgia fans. So I've been a Georgia fan. Professional basketball, the Lakers. The Lakers, and I do like the Knicks. But the Lakers are obviously my favorite. I'm going to always watch them. I'm not a LeBron fan. I'm a Lakers fan. So I want to make sure let's make sure we clear that up.
I can vouch for you on that because when we had that camp out at the rec department, it was one of the years the Lakers won, and
yes, I
was into it.
Yeah, I was bragging. Yeah, yes, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was Kobe and Shaq's run. Yeah. As far as NFL, I've been a Cowboys fan since 1980. And
my dad's a big Cowboys fan too.
See, that's the thing. Those teams you gotta love. You can't.
Growing up around Randall and Doug,
America's team.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
They are.
Dude, I can remember going to Jordy's house, and if they were playing, it was like he's just gonna be sitting in his chair. Don't
Yes, and you better not.
I mean, do you remember those days?
Yeah.
I mean, he could, and back then, he probably can't tell you a professional football player's name, address, nothing. Back then, he could tell you where they lived. He could tell you where they played. He could tell you stats.
Well, you know what colors we wear at the red department now.
Oh yeah.
Blue and white.
Yeah. I love those jerseys.
That's the reason why.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, and you think about it. I mean, the rec department was Duck and Randall for 100 years.
Oh, no question about it.
So especially the football arena.
Yeah.
Randall thought he was Tom Landry. Randall.
So did he have a blazer and a hat?
No, he didn't.
My era at the rec department, Duck and them were going to be blue and white, and we were going to be black and gold. Yeah. That was it.
Yeah.
Tip was going to be black and gold.
Yeah.
Duck was going to be blue and white. That was it.
Yeah.
There was no question about it.
There you
They
go.
didn't care what name was on the front of the shirt.
There you go.
But they was going to be blue and white and black and gold.
There you go.
All right.
And the Yankees. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Don't throw me out.
You're good.
I'm
Yeah.
good with the Yankees.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
I'm a baseball fan. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Me too. Yeah,
I appreciate it all.
right.
If you really want to know deep down in my heart who's my pro baseball team, it would be the A's. Me growing up, that's what I remember. The A's there.
Jose.
Dennis Eckersley, Jose Canseco, Mark McGuire.
It ain't got nothing to do with the
All
colors
these
they wore.
Huh?
It ain't got nothing to do with the colors they wore.
Oh,
okay.
Well, maybe a little bit.
That's what I was
That's why I went to ABAC. But yeah, that was my team growing up. I mean, of course, I don't know if I love the Braves anymore. But, it broke my heart when Oakland left.
All right. Favorite athlete?
Wow.
Yeah, it's tough. When you have to narrow it down. If you don't want to narrow it down you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, But
Magic Johnson.
that's a good one.
Magic revolutionized the game of basketball.
Showtime.
I mean, a 6'9" point guard. And if people don't realize about Magic as a winner, Magic won the state championship his senior year in high school. His sophomore year at Michigan State, they win the national championship. They beat Larry Bird at Indiana State. His rookie year, they win the NBA playoffs. They end up going without Kareem. A lot of people don't realize Magic had 42 points, 15 rebounds, and maybe 13 assists, and played center.
Right.
And if you watch the documentary, he said he got on the plane and said, "No need to fear, Magic is here." Now, probably the next person, I respected him, but because I was such a Lakers fan, would probably be Michael Jordan. MJ was
Yeah.
The real deal.
Yeah.
there's
I get on TikTok sometimes and it'll show one of his.
Have y'all watched Last Dance? Have you seen the Last Dance? I tell him about. Oh man,
That got me.
I
yeah.
lived that era, but to go back and really watch that, I mean, if you are a sports fan at all to watch The Last Dance, because I was in college that year. That was that 98 season. But to go back and to really see them go back through all those years and when he first started,
Right.
It's worth watching. He wasn't the most liked guy, but he was the best to ever do it. So
I used to love to see that old bull come running through the city. WGN. I mean, we used to get to watch.
God,
the
WGN.
Cubs a lot.
Man, you just
And
went
you
back.
got the Bulls.
I
throwing it back.
I refuse to let Luke watch the new Space Jam.
Oh yeah.
I refuse.
it's not the same.
I don't even want him to even think there's another Space Jam.
It's only one.
There's only one.
It's only
You know
one.
what else was only one of the original Space Jam soundtrack?
That's true.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that had some hits on it.
Yeah, there's something about with MJ, not only the sports aspect, but the cultural aspect that he.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, from fashion to just how you carry yourself, confidence. I mean, it spawned off people like Kobe and other people that had that mentality. I mean, I know people had that mentality before Jordan, but I think it was the advent of the internet and all the world got to see that type of athlete, and everybody was just enthralled by it, and it literally changed the world.
Well, he was driven. He was so driven to the point where he inspired other generations. Not to mention, not just here in the U.S., but internationally. Like he didn't realize how much of a global icon he was until he went to the Olympics. He'd already played in the Olympics, but when he went to the Olympics in Barcelona in '92, when
Is that the Dream Team?
oh my God, we could talk about debates of teams. That team in itself, I mean.
Just to see that poster with all them names.
Oh my God, that collection of, and the greatest thing about that, and I'm probably gonna get, crucified in this age, all those great players never wanted to team up and play with each other.
Right.
They wanted to beat each other.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what you miss. I'm like, they never wanted to. That was the only time. If you think about it, that was the only time they ever really teamed up and played with each other. Was at the Olympics.
They were enemies until they were.
I mean, because you think about it, Jordan had just come off that '92. They won it in '91 when they beat the Lakers. They turned around and won it again in '92. Well, he and Clyde Drexler are on the Olympic team. They just got finished going 6 games.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna turn around and be teammates.
But were they on the team together? Was
No.
the one year they
No.
Clyde on?
No, Clyde was only only time Clyde and MJ played against each other was then.
Oh, okay.
And I think Clyde got what fueled him is Clyde got MVP that year. And Jordan, if you ever watched Last Dance,
took that
Jordan,
personally.
he took it personally. He told Magic, he's like, I'm gonna give it to this dude. So if you ever watch Jordan do this, that's him looking at Magic like, look, I told you.
Yeah, I'm fixing to do him up.
Exactly.
He also is one of the only athletes to go in and design his own golf course too. I mean,
my
guy's
goodness.
got a brain. He's not just an athlete. Dude's got a brain.
No, he played was it 18? They said he would play 8 when they were at the Olympics.
36.
He would play 18 to 36 holes and then go and play in the finals. And then he did that in Spain. He and Chuck Daly played with each other. Played together, and he would turn around. I was like, man,
That's wild to me.
he did that. Hopefully we can say this. They said he played 18 holes. He said he drank about 12 beers.
Yeah.
And he said he smoked 3 cigars.
Yeah.
And then turned around and dropped 40.
That's wild.
Is that even humanly possible
Let me tell
to
you
do?
something. I could play 9
Yeah.
at Reedsville with a golf cart, and I'm about to die.
I'm sore for 2 days.
I'm done.
18 to 36.
Yeah, I'm cashed on hole 12.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, I'm sure we can talk. I'd love to talk more about like just sports in general. But
I'm a history major too, so don't.
yeah,
feel bad.
you're good. You're good. I can tell. The names you rattle off, I could just we could talk for hours.
That's awesome.
But I do want to talk about Claxton.
Okay.
And so if you could improve one thing in Claxton athletics with a snap of your fingers, what would it be?
Support. Well, Jaren's T-shirt, Restore the Roar. Restore the Roar. Actually, let me give a shout out, Coach Roderick Williams.
Yep.
That was his. He gave me a quick shout and congratulating me on becoming athletic director. And the last sentence said, "Restore the Roar." And Levante Allen commented and said, "I like that." And I was like, "It's catchy."
Yeah.
And so it made me think about Restore the Roar. It's about reclamation. Restore the Roar is all about reclaiming. It's about getting everybody back in the fold. It's getting the younger kids. It's going back to my days of playing in the rec department, to encouraging classes, people who have, like Jermaine, like calling him tonight. That's a part of Restoring the Roar. That's bringing people back who may feel as if they've been kind of left out.
Yep.
And I think that's one of the places we got to get to. We got to become more community driven. We have to become more consciously aware of what athletes have done prior to this particular era. I think, in a sense, even though you have people who are new to Evans County and to the school system, you have to buy into the heritage, the culture of being a Claxton Tiger. Yep. I mean, Mac, you know as well as I do. I mean, that black and gold runs deep. I don't care where you go. Yeah. I don't care what you do. You mentioned other places that I've coached. I've bled black and gold all my life. Yeah. And I think that's the one thing I really want this group to be able to do. If it's one thing, it's reclaim our rightful place. And there's no reason to go off on the rails about where we are and how we got to this point. Yeah, right. The key is to get us moving in that direction.
What's the next step?
So the next step is to get everybody fired up about being a Claxton Tiger again. And these kids don't understand it because they don't hear those conversations about Jermaine Wilkerson or about guys who came before him. Jermaine talked about guys who came before him, and he mentioned 2 guys of my teammates, Antonio Freeman and Anthony Moore. That's what we have. That's what Restore the Roar really means. It's getting everybody back involved and getting individuals in the community back. And I'll tell you where it really starts. And Jaron and I talked about this the other day. It starts with that rec department. Yes, it does. Yep. That's my foundation. That's my first. I wanted to be a Claxton Tiger when I was at the rec department. Yeah. That was my first taste of it because I'm following my uncle. And I know all the players. The same way Jermaine was talking to other players. Yeah, I was going to watch, the class of '88, which, shout out to all those guys. They were the blueprint, but somebody passed the torch to them. And so that's what we have to really get to. No one has passed the torch to these guys yet.
Right.
They've heard things, but no one's really said, listen, you stand on the shoulders of some good people. Yeah. And that's male and female athletes. I think that has to happen. In order for that to happen, when that happens, that's when Claxton High School will become what it's supposed to. And that's my goal as long as I'm living and breathing. So,
man, great answer.
That's awesome.
I think you hit it right on the head.
Yeah.
Whenever we was talking to Jermaine and he was naming some of the guys that you played with and all, kids nowadays need a hero.
They do.
They need
do.
to see a hero.
They do.
They need to want to be that guy.
They do.
need to want to be the guy that they need to want to be a John Boy or
That's
a
right.
Jermaine
They do.
or
They do.
you know, or whoever.
And I love that you brought Roderick Williams into this because Roderick Williams.
That's my boy.
It was the best. I don't care if it hurts feelings. I love every coach that ever coached me, but there is no doubt in my mind the number one coach that had my back and looked after me, not because I was a football player, but because I was a student at Claxton and he treated us all the same way, was Roderick Williams. He came to my graduation and shook my hand and told me thank you and told me congratulations. Dude, I will forever in my whole life always remember sayings, the butter from the duck.
Oh yeah.
Just like what you were talking about the future. He always told us, quit looking at the past, move on. Quit looking at the past. If you're facing backwards, you ain't moving forward.
That's right.
You know, and one of the things he put in our mind when he was coaching us was, you either get better or you get worse.
No
You
question
never
about
stay
it.
the same.
No question.
You never stay the same.
No question.
And I'm gonna tell you something. I really look back on my career in school, in athletics, and everything. And just like you were talking about the rec department, you got Norris Mincy who works his butt off to try to create that mentality. You got Jaron who's back in it, feeding that mentality of this is a feeder program. For
No question about it.
But Coach Williams was bought into that feeder program. I mean, when I didn't even know that C-team football existed. He came to us and said, "Hey, you've been playing at the rec department. We got C-team football," and you know, and then of course, that's when he took a little chubby guy and told him he was going to snap the football, and the rest is history. And he is the reason I love football. Roderick Williams is the reason I love football. I can't think of a better person to give you any type of direction when you got this job. I mean, that is awesome. Dude, my hat is off to you. And I'm gonna tell you something. If y'all got that mindset, there's great things for us.
Yeah.
Well, he came through that era. You mentioned that he came through the same era. I mean, Coach Williams and I, 3 years. You know, he graduated in '92. I graduated in '95. But we came through that era where there was a standard.
Yep.
And you lived up to it. You didn't come to Claxton High School half-stepping. You didn't. You didn't do it halfway. You did it fully. And you knew that people supported, you know, what you were doing. You know, we saw teachers at games. We saw our principals. You know, those people who are gone. You know, Mr. Dewey Holtzy. You know, he bled black and gold. You know, Coach Green. God rest their souls. They're going on. Coach Lynn. We came through that era where they set a standard, and it was you either bled it or you got away. You didn't stay here long at all. Yeah. Or you didn't like the fact that because you were going to love being a part of our program, and you were going to do it a certain way. So what you got from Coach Williams is the same thing we got growing up as kids. Yeah. And that started in the elementary school, and then it transferred, you know, starting at the recreation department. Yeah, he came and got you guys for C-team because we all grew up behind it. I came behind him. Yeah. So when he graduated, they turned and they passed the baton to our class. And that's the same thing. And that's what we got to have. We got to have somebody who is, you know, those kids at the rec department, they have to look forward to coming out. That's why I told you that night they came, that rec night, or just coming and playing on our field. Yep. That's going to always forever be imprinted in the minds of those young people because they're going to remember we played on the varsity's field. Yep. We played on turf.
Well, that was one of the comments me and you said that morning of the tournament is, had we had that field when Coach Norris and I went to the state championship, when those kids stepped on the field, that's the first time they'd ever felt anything that wasn't grass. You know, I'm being serious. Baloney.
They were starstruck.
What's Baloney's name? I still to this day don't know what Baloney's name is. Anyway, Baloney, I just remember we're getting stretched out, and Baloney looks at me and goes, "This ain't real grass, Coach." And I'm like, "Yeah, but it's not real grass.
It's turf.
It's turf,
and it burns.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
And then it was like 2 minutes later, he tackled our defensive tackle because we were wearing the same uniforms. But yeah, no. And you talk about water tower. I hate to steal any more thunder. I'm gonna shut up. I promise. But Coach Williams was a hell of a track coach.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, he wasn't just a good football coach.
Yeah.
Dude's got some letters behind his name.
Oh, no question about it.
You know, if a coach could have a Letterman jacket, I'd hate to see how it would probably rival your sister's with his track stuff.
Yeah. No question about it.
Talking about the rec department too. 10U
Yes.
football is headed to state in Tiffany.
Hey, there you go.
December 7th, Sunday, December the 7th at 11:30. They just won district out at the rec department. So
Good stuff.
This is the same group of kids from last year that went to state and played on Carrollton.
Good
and
stuff.
It's like you said, they've played on that turf before now.
That's right.
They ain't gonna be no starstruck.
No,
now.
not at all. Not at all. That's good stuff. We got to have that.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great answer. I mean, and yeah, I think you hit on a lot of good points, and
That was awesome.
that's kind of. I know our podcast isn't gonna cure the world's problems, but that's kind of what we're trying to do here. Is like back when I was growing up, somebody did something interesting, and it was in the newspaper, and you got to be like, oh, everybody got to see it, right?
Right.
And the bank would print it out
Yeah.
and laminate it and send it to you in the mail.
Well,
Yep.
you got to want to be that guy.
Yeah, you do.
And that
You
starts-
do.
That starts a winning tradition.
It does.
You got to be.
Yeah.
To want to be that guy that's toting the football or making the tackle on the little local podcast.
Yeah.
You got to want to be that guy
That's
this
true.
week, and it makes you better.
It does.
I mean, it does.
It does.
I mean,
Seeing your name in that paper back in the day makes a difference.
And that's kind of what I envision this being, and us being able to like highlight somebody who embodies the restore the roar or whatever it needs to be. I think that's at its core. It's kind of why we wanted to do this, is to highlight a community that needs to be highlighted because there are good people here.
Absolutely.
And I think that's why I keep coming back every week and aggravating y'all. Like they don't even want me on this podcast. I moved my chair in here. They don't even want me.
good
I
chair.
wasn't that good of an athlete. But
What high school did Alabama play last week?
I don't want to talk to you about Alabama.
He's a Bama fan.
Oh, baby, roll tide. It's all about the A, baby.
Go Dogs.
Listen, my uncle wrestled for University of Alabama.
over.
I've been there. I can't help it. It is what it is. But I was an Alabama fan when we were losing. The Shula days, the Brody Kroll days. I had a
yeah.
Brody Kroll jersey.
Yeah, he really, yeah.
I mean,
You
I
a real fan because you,
I remember
for
when
you to
we-
mention that, that's
So, but what I'm getting at about this podcast, the only reason that I keep coming back, and the only reason that I look forward to us coming here and talking to somebody like you, Coach, I'm sick of all the negativity. I just want some positive in my life.
That's right.
And you're not going to get to restore the roar with the negativity.
No, you're not.
You're going to restore the roar with the positivity.
That's right.
And that's what I want to be a part of.
That's right. Well, this is a brand that's C, and that's the
Yes.
thing. Right now we are moving towards rebranding, and that's the start.
Yep.
I think when you have a theme and you have a fall pack position, and that's what Restore the Roar is, and right now you really want to just teach. There's an acronym behind it. We want to really just teach the kids what the acronym really means. Like what do these terms mean? Like what does it mean to be resilient? Yeah. What does it mean to show tenacity? What does it mean to take ownership and to have respect and what does it mean to be elite? Yeah. Those are some things that we have to really instill in our athletes right now and get them to start believing it. They got to start to see those things and they got to keep hearing it on a regular basis. You can't say, we're in a society now where buzzwords are out there and then they fade away.
Yeah.
Restore the Roar, and I tell kids, our student athletes, it is not a buzzword. You're going to hear Coach Tomblin saying it until they put me 6 feet under, because that's what I believe. We have to do in order to get there, and so I'm just glad I'm in a position to be able to
Every
try to
time
do
I hear resilience, I could hear Roderick Williams hollering, mental toughness.
That's right.
Standing over us,
That's
when we're
right.
doing 6 inches.
That's
or
right.
whatever,
Oh,
the
yeah.
pain.
That is mental toughness.
The mental toughness.
Because you don't understand what it really means to do 6 inches
Yeah.
until you get into the heat of battle. And that's what it means. When you get into battle, when you're in that foxhole, what are you going to do? Are you going to quit or are you going to keep pressing forward? And I think we got to get our kids to believe that now. So
That's awesome.
I tell all my kids out there at the red department too, especially my little girls softball team. And it's just like you talked about MJ and what you're talking about now. Winning ain't easy.
Oh, no. Oh, if it was, everybody be doing
It's
it.
gonna cost you a little bit of blood, some tears. It ain't easy. It's hard. And I always try to go back to them when we won a state championship this year in the GRPA with our 10U girls. There was a couple of practices before it was super hot, and I was on their butts too. And I was like, you gonna appreciate me one day. And I'm telling y'all right now, winning ain't easy.
It's not.
And right after we won the state championship, I got them all together, and I said, "What I tell you about winning?" I said, "It ain't easy. It's hard, but it's worth it whenever you put it into." And that's why we got to get these young kids to realize all them things that you're talking about ain't easy. You got to want it.
It's not. And we talk about Jermaine. That's why I mentioned earlier with Jermaine, I was proud of him. People don't realize that 2002 team, that year alone, that was called the Year of the Tiger. We won 5 region championships.
That's wild. Yeah.
We won it in football,
Dang.
girls and boys basketball, girls and boys track. But those 5 region championships, nobody remembers because they don't remember in 2000 when everybody else was here and we were striving to get here.
Yeah.
They don't remember the football team that year being 3-7, and then we go on 7-4. He mentioned the 11-0. Yeah, we went 11-0, but everybody remembers the 1-9 and the 3-7.
Right.
They don't remember that. They remember the 11. Oh, we started out here, but we got here.
Yeah.
That 2002 team, basketball wise, these kids now, air conditioned gym. We played in a hot gym.
Ooh, it was hot.
It was hot in the gym. Stroud and I would open the doors and we would practice, and there was no good cop, bad cop. I mean, we were both lighting into them.
That was my senior year, was 02, and me and Craig used to work out together all the time, and we had a key to the weight room up there. We would go up there, and then we'd do some sprints in the gym afterwards. But that's probably the hottest gym I've ever been.
I'm serious. I mean, for real. Like you would open. We got those big industrial fans, and you could open those doors, and you stuck the fan in the door because the basketball will roll out in the street.
Yeah.
And there was no. I was like, my God, boy, this is circulating hot air. Like there was nothing you could do to get. I mean, cool, but it really made us. So when it came time for, basketball season, we were already mentally prepared because we had already put them through such a grueling task, and I went through it, as a player. So, it's worth appreciating. Definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I feel like a lot of times people get caught up in wins and losses and, records versus bad records. But I guess this goes into this question: how do you measure success in a program beyond just wins and losses?
To me, the measure of success goes with the student athlete doing well academically. We can talk about wins and losses, but we have to start at a certain point. We have to start to get these kids to believe in themselves in some place. But to really, the ultimate is to see them become successful beyond the sport itself. Yeah. I've always heard that athletics and sports can either save your life or change your life. Yeah. It didn't save mine, it changed mine because that's what I wanted to do. When I was carrying those drinks and flipping them hamburgers, I wanted to teach and coach.
Yeah.
So I knew that athletics was going to be something that changed my life. And so I would eventually help to change other people's lives because I saw parents and family members change people's lives. But I saw people talk about my uncle and my mom, and you mentioned Coach Williams and Coach Oglesby and Coach Lynn and Coach Nagel. All of those they were educators. So you can remember things they coached you on, but the biggest thing is they taught you, they put you through so much that when you got out in the real world, when you were in the classroom, you knew you couldn't play if you weren't eligible.
Yeah, right.
So ultimately, you were trying to get to a certain pinnacle in terms of success, and that was graduating. Because now, once I graduate, it shows I've achieved the level of success that sports helped me to get through, because I bonded with people. Right. I developed relationships with people. I developed relationships with coaches and teachers. And that's the one thing I really want to see. I want to see kids, definitely want to see championships. Who doesn't?
Right. Yeah.
But I want to see these kids leave here and 2 to 5 years when they're removed, they can come back and they can talk about those experiences and those things that you've able to. You're talking vividly about Coach Williams. Jermaine's talking about things earlier tonight. Jermaine stopped playing basketball in 2003, but he's raising a family now.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So Jermaine had to see that growing up in his home, but he had to also see other coaches doing the same thing. He saw the teachers doing the same thing. That's what we got to be. We got to impact their lives and teach them the importance of using this as a vehicle to get to the level of success that they really want to be at.
Yeah, it's about making men.
No question about it, men and women. I mean, I think we have to really. I tell kids all the time, I've coached and that now I'm trying to mentor. If the only thing I did was teach you how to shoot a jump shot or hit a ball or to tackle someone or throw something or to run, then I'm really not worth a salt as a coach, because all I taught you how to do was one thing. Yeah. But if you can remember something I said that is meaningful and that can help you in life, then I've done my job. Right. So I think that's important.
Awesome.
That is legit.
Last question, or second to last question. If you could sit down with any coach, any sport, any era for lunch, who are you choosing?
Man, y'all got some tough questions.
I've
watched this. See, I've watched this and I was like, my God.
Just don't do like Donnie and freeze.
Yeah, I'm not going to freeze because I started listening. So I'm paying attention. That's a history major. We analyze everybody else.
Yeah.
We analyze everybody. We say, okay, he did this, he did that. Let me not do this.
Put Evans Heights on his one.
Come on.
What is that?
There's so many. Wow. I would say John Chaney. John Chaney coached at Temple. John Chaney coached at Temple.
Kentucky too?
No.
Who am I thinking?
Only at Temple. Okay. He coached at Temple. He played at Bethune-Cookman. He grew up in the South, but he moved to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And John Chaney tells a story. There was a documentary called Black Magic. And Black Magic, it was a documentary about guys who played, who attended historically black colleges. Mm-hmm. And they went on to have pro careers. And so John Chaney tells a story that he's getting ready to graduate from Bethune-Cookman. And a kid walks in and says, "Are the dean in?" And the receptionist said, "What'd you say?" He said, "I'm just asking, are the dean in?" And John said the receptionist went back and got the dean and bought the dean back in and said, "I want you to tell this lady what you told me." He said, "Ma'am, I don't know why you're making such a big deal, but I just want to know, are the dean in?" He said, the dean looked at him and said, "The dean is in, and your butt will be back here next semester." But yeah, so it was like he was talking about how he learned how to become a better coach because he was challenged when he was in college to become a better student. That's right. And so he's that one who you saw had to build men and end up playing in an era where times were much more challenging than they are at this point in time. And he was able to break so many barriers, not just racial barriers, but just gender barriers in a sport where it really wasn't common for him to actually go and pursue. So you messed with me because I was thinking, I got Bob Knight, you got Mike Krzyzewski, Phil Jackson, but John Chaney,
I've never heard of him.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
I love any story of people taking on adversity and winning.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just that's an awesome answer. I'm with you on that.
And so this is the last one, but I want to squeeze one in here right before we get to the last one. Is there a student, and if you don't want to, you don't have to. Is there a student right now or someone that embodies the restore the war mentality, or someone that just previously graduated? We don't have to do a current student. Just recently graduated, maybe, or somebody still in the community that's younger, on the younger side, that you think is a huge help to the community, or helping restore the roar, really.
I got one in my mind.
I actually have one. I'm kind of biased, but the one I'm thinking about right now, his name is Jalen Allen. Okay. He's an 8th grader. He just recently became a Reach Scholar. he
I was
is
thinking of
in
his dad, by the way.
I was thinking of Levante. Is that Levante's son?
yeah.
Yes.
And
Vitae.
what people don't realize is this kid, if he just maintains what he's doing right now, not anymore any less, just maintains, this kid will walk away and have a scholarship. He doesn't even have to go and play ball, even though that's what he desires to do beyond high school, because academically he's already intact. But they're actually two. He and a kid named Zach Valentine. Those are two young men right now who I think embody what it really means to be a student athlete. But not just a student athlete, but scholar athletes, because these young men are excelling in the classroom. And that's really what it boils down to, because I tell them, I was told this, and I'm sure y'all were told, at some point, you're going to stop bouncing the ball, catching one, kicking one, throwing one, hitting one.
Father Time's undefeated.
Jermaine mentioned earlier about he can still shoot a corner three, but he can't jump anymore. Yeah. Okay, well, you going to, I struggle to walk at times, but, these shoes have become my go-tos now.
Yeah.
At some point, life is going to change.
Yeah.
And so those are two young men right now. They're both 8th graders, Beta Club, 3-sport athletes. You're talking about two guys that are playing, Zach plays baseball, basketball, and football. Broke his collarbone first game in football. He's back. Jalen has a hairline fracture. 2 weeks left in football. Back. Just signed the other day a Reach scholarship. Yeah. So those are two kids right now that if I'm picking two, I just can't pick one. Picking two, those are two kids right now who are awesome. Definitely going places.
Cool.
Immediately when you said that question, I thought about Vitae.
Yeah.
He's Levante. I mean, dude, to me and Levante, and I can say this. Everybody knows me, has known me. I was not the best student. I was not the best person growing up. No, I mean legit. But to see where we came from and where we are, he surpassed me tremendously. To be able to be in the community he grew up in, and people look at him as a mentor without him wanting to be a mentor.
Yeah.
I mean, in my work day to day, there's people that I deal with on a day to day basis that call him a mentor.
Right.
Oh, no question about it. 100%.
And again, I hate to keep digging the same hole, but he's one of Roderick Williams.
Oh, no question about it.
So,
and he does it the right way. People don't realize this. He's volunteered his services, and started out the rec department. That was one, making that was an easy recommendation and an easy hire, not because of anything, but it was because I watched the maturation process. Like I'm watching. Okay, this kid has volunteered this time. He's done this for 5 years.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Because it serves our purpose. We're solidifying our feeder program. We have a liaison that these kids respect, that it ties him to the community, the school, and the recreation department. Yeah. And he's also on the community. Yes, and he's on the governance team at the school. So you can tell he's vested in the education. And one thing I will say is he holds them accountable and sets a standard, and there's no wiggle room. It is what it is. We're not going to change.
And I know he would be okay with me saying it, but me and him at certain times in our life we're on the point of not being on the team.
Hey.
And I think that's why he's so respectful, or the kids respect him, is because he has the experience and the knowledge of what happens if you don't do it.
100%.
I mean, I just literally just got done texting a guy before we walked in here that is in that realm of age group that Vitae deals with him, and I deal with him. And the comment I said to him, and it was, I was like, in my mind, I'm saying, well, what would Levante say to him with this situation? And I talked about his situation, and at the end I said, but I can tell you doing right's harder, but that's why most people don't do it.
That's right.
And that right there, that last statement came in my mind because I was like, what would Levante say to this kid? And I mean, when you
out
talk
Levante.
about who somebody, and then his son, oh man, don't even get me started.
Yeah.
Dude's an athlete. Dude's a star.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, last question. What is one piece of advice you hope students carry with them after graduation? And you may have already said something like this. You know.
Excel, don't succeed. My godfather, Sylvester Ashford, he passed away in 2018, 96 years old. I interviewed him in the 8th grade, and that was the last question I asked him. See, I told you I'm a history major. I remember all this stuff.
That's right.
He told me his advice was to tell young people to focus on excelling and not succeeding. See, because anyone can succeed at some task, but excellence requires that you do it every day without thinking about it. So you're focusing less on the outcome and the end result, but you're focusing on, people always say, trust the process. I don't think people really understand what that process is. The process is very ugly. It can be discouraging, but it's the one thing that you have to do every day. And so when you're focusing every day on becoming excellent, you don't have time to settle for just succeeding. Okay, well, I did okay with this. No, I'm constantly working because there's something bigger. You know, I can see the bigger picture, and there's something ultimately I want to be able to achieve. So that has stuck with me all my life, and it guides me every day. I don't get into accolades. I don't get into, praises, pats on the back. Oh, I appreciate it. My focus is I want to be excellent at what I do and not just be successful. So
Awesome. Great
I won't
advice.
tell anybody about that Tattnall County connection there. I won't tell anybody.
listen, my dad is from Tattnall County, born and raised, and I tell people, as much as I'm not a Tattnall County fan, half my family is from Tattnall County.
Yeah.
So 23 of the chromosomes that make up Ryan Nicholas Tomblin came from Tattnall County. So a part of me will always be in Tattnall County.
I toted the worst tail whooping I've ever been given in my life on his road, Sylvester Ashford Road. I toted the worst tail whipping that I have ever been given.
I'll tell my godmother that. She still, you know what? And her birthday's coming up on December the 1st. Mama Nita, I love you. She'll be 99 years old.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Let's get her on.
You talking about things that coaches teach people, and then they retain it. There's one thing every coach tried to teach me, and I never retained it. Was you can't talk to all kind of people certain types of way. Yeah. And when I was 18 years old and became in law enforcement, I thought I could just talk to anybody however I wanted to, whenever I wanted to. And I learned about, I think it was 2 months into that job when my head hit that curb, that you just can't talk to people all kind of ways. And I'm gonna tell you something. Honest to God, and I know the boy's name, I never would say it, but that lesson that I learned there is a lesson that I will take everywhere. Is you can 100%, just in sports, in life, in anything, you can catch way more flies with honey
than you can with vinegar.
than you catch with vinegar. That's true. And I'm gonna tell you something, that shaped me, made the man I am because of that. But yeah, when you said Sylvester Ashford, all I could think about was me trying to get to that oak tree where my car was parked. And get on the radio and say, somebody has just beat my behind. I don't know where he ran. Yeah. I don't know where he ran.
Awesome.
I'll tell her that.
Yeah, tell her.
I sure will.
Again, thank you so much for being here. I mean,
do I need to give you the water towel? Do I need to?
Yeah, we're gonna get there.
Okay.
I wouldn't let you walk out without getting one. But I just wanted to thank you. I got chill bumps a couple times. You started talking.
I'll pay you later. I don't have any cash on me right now.
But it's legit. I mean, the stuff you're talking about is this, and I guess that's one other thing too. And there, but the grace of God go I. I was raised a different way than people are raised today.
Right.
And I'm thankful for that. But I also forget that people were coached. I was coached different than some of these guys coming up were coached, and it's hard to have that mentality that I got if you hadn't been coached a certain way like I was coached.
No question about it.
So everything I'm bought in 100% to everything you said.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, and yeah, I know you don't want like accolades or anything, but I think you've got a great vision, and I think, with if everybody buys in at Claxton and the leadership there buys into that, I think you can get to those steps and take. It's not going to happen in an instant, but it's good to hear that vision. When I saw the Restore the Roar, I'm just like, I get what they're going with, but hearing it from you, it's totally changed my outlook on it, honestly.
So you thought it was some garbage?
No. I get it was like
you got to understand. It took him 4.5 weeks before we even started this to buy into us being Crew Sports.
Yeah.
And then
still not 100%
literally
the
2
name.
days into it, he had already came up with 12 other names to tell me and Jaron how sorry the name was we came up with.
Yeah.
So I don't feel bad.
That's why he's the producer. It has got nothing to do with Joel's slogan.
I just whenever you the message behind the slogan is what meant a lot more to me.
Yes. Oh yes.
I mean, I thank you for explaining it to me.
Yes.
But yeah, I love it, and I was watching that highlight of that state championship, and I saw the C. They brought up the little bar that showed the score, and they showed the C with the Claxton Tiger face in the C. I got chill bumps watching that. I'm like, oh my God, And I know nostalgia is such a powerful thing, and we always don't want to look at the past, but you have to, like you said, build on the past to get to where you want to go, and the future is important. And I know we talk about the past around here a lot, but it's good to hear and see and meet somebody that is a part of building the future and molding young men and women to, hopefully we have a better future,
That's right.
So thank you.
And molding that future molds the community in return.
Yeah,
That's true.
absolutely. So thanks for coming, and now let's get your water tower.
When did I really feel Tiger pride? And that's when I look back and I said, God, Lee, that was at the rec department. That was when I was a child, because I remember age just 4, maybe. My dad took me to my first practice, and I can remember seeing, and he would talk to me about it, and we would go to ball games, and then I would follow my uncle. And so growing up, I was always around all those coaches, everybody from Coach, God rest their soul, Coach Rick Dudley, who was the head football coach at the time, Coach Charles Nagel, who's retired superintendent in Columbia County, Coach Oglesby, and Coach Lynn, who recently passed away. They were great. Coach Oglesby's son, Adolphus, and I grew up together. So they grew up, we grew up family friends. I mean, he and my uncle played high school ball together. Yeah. So growing up or being around them, in my mind, that to me was Tiger pride. That's when I really learned how to really love, being a Claxton Tiger. And so that's what you really want. You want those younger kids to start envisioning it and start to take pride in it.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, when Roger mentioned, when he said restore the roar, I was like, there it is.
Yeah. And Donnie even talked about how good at slogans he was. Meet me at the track.
Yeah.
Butter from the duck.
Oh yeah. We started the butter from the ducks. That started with us. He and I came back. I came the year before he did. And so, actually 2 years. I came when Stroud came from Richmond Hill. That's how I met him. But when he and I started together, we were coaching middle school football together.
Yes.
We coached C-team football. He, I, and Eric Bluestein. Yeah. The three of us. And he used to always say, it's time to get the butter from the duck. He turned it into a song.
Yeah, he did.
It was a song. He was singing.
Yeah.
You got it on iTunes?
Yeah.
Put it on the,
dude,
put it on
he
the
would
podcast?
sing it. And
he
so
would get you so pumped.
he would. And so, I will say this, Roger is probably, I have some genuine friendships. He's probably that one friend I cannot see for 3 or 4 months. And we will stand in one place and we'll talk for 4 hours. Mom was like, my God, who you talking to who? I'm serious. We've stayed outside the barbershop. We've talked 2 hours in. The barbershop is closed down and we're standing outside talking another 2 hours. And we're like, dang, but we got to go to work tomorrow. Yeah. Hey, man, we'll talk to you next time. And then, the next time we see each other, it's 3 to 4 hours. We're going to talk and catch up.
I did one funny thing about Coach Williams. Do you remember that Blue Sun fire he had?
Yeah, that was, first came back.
I remember him making us push that at practice because we did something stupid. I can't remember. I mean, like you say, punishment was a thing of coaching in that era. And I remember the whole time I was pushing it. And Coach, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, but it come to my head. I just remember thinking, how in the heck does he even get in this car?
Some bars are pretty small.
Like I was so, you were mad because he's making, and then afterwards I'm like, looking back on him, like, he probably should have made us lift the car for the stupid stuff we were doing, not push the car. But yeah, no, that blue Sunfire, man, when we would be walking to the football field,
God, that's too.
you were scared to death to see him come by because he was like, there was somebody eating somebody's pecans. There was somebody eating somebody's pears.
Oh, yeah.
On that walk, there was just so much.
It was
trouble.
something that was going to happen.
There was so much trouble from that middle school to that dang gun football field that we could get into.
And we had to hear it. I mean, if we didn't discipline y'all, we were going to get disciplined.
Yeah.
So we were going to get emails about somebody misbehaving. That is the one thing you like is, Lord, please just let them just walk in peace. Don't do anything stupid today. Please don't.
Please just walk.
Just walk. And if you think you're going to do something, put your head down, close your eyes, stick your hand in your ears, do something so that you ignore any thoughts that might come up and tell you this is a good idea, because it's not.
Yeah.
Nope.
Well, one thing, I mean, obviously we still want to, highlight Claxton as much as we can. And obviously we don't have much equipment right now. But we do want to still, do some stuff at Claxton. How can we, is there a way we can help support in any way in regards of just, we'll do anything, honestly. Like, I mean, we'd love to go
get up there and
see a
just
game.
Get some of the games on.
Yeah.
I'd like to interview some athletes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like we said, we got to make those kids want to be the ones on the.
We do.
And we're not, and I said this to other people, but we're not trying to make money off this. We want to be able to have a good production, and we're not trying to make money off of kids and for clicks. I don't want to be a Barstool. I don't want to be if it gets to 5,000 people and whatever, if we get to 1,000 people and it stays that way, I'm fine. I just love being able to tell stories about Claxton, people who live in Claxton, and even if it's in Tatnall, maybe we could do a Tatnall water tower or a Meadow water tower.
I don't know if I could go to Tatnall.
Yeah, I know that's stretching. We got to get Claxton covered. We want to get Claxton covered, but there's so many surrounding counties that I think would be cool to talk about. But again, is there a way is there something you think we could do to help support you guys?
I think you're doing it now, but definitely, I mean, anytime you really want to come up, just let us know, and we'll make that happen. Our middle school basketball games right now on Mondays and Thursdays. Varsity are Tuesday, Friday, Saturday. So you look, we'll definitely give you a schedule, and you let us know when you want to try to come up and introduce you to the coaches. I think that's another thing, is that the community needs to know who's coaching these kids.
Right.
And so that's where buy-in comes in as well. I mean, you talked earlier about how influential coaches were and how impactful they were. The one dynamic, and you can't really control that, is that I don't know so much when you guys were in school, but when I was in school, most of them lived here.
Yes.
So you knew who they were.
That's what I was going to say earlier. When I heard you got the AD job, I was pumped. I was like, we got one of our guys back in there.
Vested
I feel like I fought that for, at the rec department and that kind of stuff. I was like, I got somebody that I can call that I grew up with, that I worked with, that, is a staple in the community. His family is that's what we need. So I was pumped about that whenever I heard it. So that's what we got to have. We got to have somebody that wants what's best for our kids in the community.
Absolutely. And it's no different than growing up here. I mean, I'm essentially trying to do what was done for me, and I want to do more than what was done for me. And so right now we have to do more. So the more they see this, right now we're at the age we got to meet them, as they say in the education world, meet them where they are. Well, this is where they are. They're doing this a lot.
Yeah.
And so if we can get them to look at this and see the importance of doing not just looking at this, but being motivated by it and then doing something else, it's going to pay dividends. So whatever I have to do, whenever you guys are interested in coming by, we'll get you the schedules and you let me know and we'll make it happen.
Cool. Good deal. Well, I think it's water tower time.
Uh-oh.
Let's do it.
I normally don't look in this, but I don't want to leave. I have some. I'm gonna be like Jermaine. I
hadn't
did write.
stumbled over anything like any year.
Nothing.
He like recalled like the past like 80 championships. I'm like, man, that is some recall.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a recall right now.
All right.
From 1977 to 1983, we're talking about football seasons. There's 7 seasons where there was not a losing record in Claxton High School.
Yeah.
From 78?
77.
77.
Coach Norris missed it. That was his senior year.
Yep,
Up into the 83 team, and the 83 team actually went undefeated.
78 was Greg Stewart.
Yeah.
Went on to
78
play
was
college football.
Yeah. Oh, not only Greg Stewart went on to play college football, you had Duck wasn't on that team. You had Stanley Bacon. Duck was on the 83 team. You're right. He was on the 83 team. You had Stanley Bacon, who also played college football. Tony Welch played college football on that team. And I might be leaving someone off, but that 70, when you talk about iconic teams, before you even, Larry Kennedy was on that team. You have 78 team and 1988 and 1983 state track team. Those are iconic years because the state 83 track team, they practice handoffs in the yard, in the street.
Right.
Really?
No track.
Yes, there was no track.
That's right.
It was it was Coach Virginia Albert, God rest his soul, Coach Charles Nagel, and my uncle.
Yeah.
They actually practiced handoffs in the street.
But Dad's senior year was 77, and he told me when I told him you were coming on, he said, whisper in his ear, Virginia Albert has got to be at least an honorable mention. At least an honorable mention, if not on the water tower. He said that he wants to come on just to make sure that Virginia Albert is on somebody's water tower.
Well, he's been mentioned
When you
already.
say that name, I hear it, in just being raised in John Edwards' house. Virginia Albert's name came up 100. Your dad talked about Virginia.
Oh yeah. Okay. So
That is awesome stats and historical.
Hey man. Oh. And since we're talking about stats, 2000 to 2002, that team went 13-3 in single elimination games. Those teams, 13-3 in single elimination games.
That's wild.
That's pretty crazy.
Yes. So, I mean, that no one can, to me, 88 is here and everybody else is chasing them. But you're hard pressed to find a group of athletes, and there have been individual ones, a team, to be able to amass that in that time frame. So, just want to put that out there.
That's pretty awesome.
All right. Do I start at the bottom or do I start at the top?
It's your tower.
Sure.
All right. So I'm gonna start with 5. There's a tie for 5. I looked up to these 2 guys probably more than anyone else. One that I'm actually related to, and both of them are 3-sport athletes. My number 5, and there's a tie, it's Tony Welch and Tony Mosley.
Okay.
We're talking about 3-sport lettermen, and they lettered more than 3. Tony Welch was actually on that South Georgia team.
Yeah.
But both of them played baseball. They both lettered in football, and they both lettered in basketball. Wow. You mentioned 1977. Ricky Ellis actually played at Austin P. He played football and basketball, but Austin P, he played football. Number 3, guy by the name of Ernest Fields. Anybody heard of that before?
Ernest Fields. I don't know that I have.
Ernest Fields was on the 83 state track team. He played football, played 1 year football as a receiver. I actually did not. I was looking today and I could not find his stats. I had him on at work and have written it down because I was like, if I'm coming on here, I need to bring accurate stats and not just be pulling something out of the air. But I'm going to forward you his single season stats again, as a receiver. But Ernest Field, 3-sport athlete, basketball, football, and track. Number 2, Walter Lundy. McDonald's All-American. State championship team, 1988. He's probably, I can vividly say,
He went somewhere and
played at Boston College.
That's what I thought. That's pretty strong.
He actually, you struggle for words. I mean, there was nothing he couldn't do with a basketball. I mean, he could dunk it with both hands. He could shoot mid-range, deep. He could finish at the cup. He could defend. And he by far was so unselfish. Like that entire 88 team, if you looked at them, that basketball team, they went 29-3. They lost 3 games. 3 games by combined 3 points.
Dang.
Dang.
But here's the key though. 2 of the losses came in the early part of the season and right at the beginning of the second semester to Richmond Hill. My uncle was coaching at Richmond Hill at the time. Richmond Hill won the state championship in 1988 in single A. Claxton won it in double A. The only losses Claxton had was 2 one-point losses to Richmond Hill and a 1-point loss in the region championship to Swainsboro.
Really?
Wow.
They beat Swainsboro, played Swainsboro, I think 5 times that year. They beat them 4 out of 5 times they played them.
Yeah.
So, yes. And number 1 on my list, goes without saying, is Greg Stafford. He is by far, if I'm looking at a water tower, he to me is number 1. Now the honorable mentions I have, Darrell Campbell, basketball as well as football. Derek Cheap Blitch.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, you name it, he did it.
Yeah.
Not to mention his brothers, but
Right.
Cheat is the only one that I actually really knew.
Yeah.
I knew of the other ones. Third honorable mention would be my classmate, Tyrone Smith. I think I remember hearing Donnie talk about getting his stickers or buttons and stuff. Tyrone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out class of 1995.
That's awesome.
Yep. Jonathan Wilkerson, obviously is honorable mention. And the last 2 would be Shannon Welch. If you ever want to talk about a running back.
Yeah.
John was a great athlete and could run. The last 2 I have, Tim King and Shannon Welch. And I'm definitely leaving some others off, but you can't have,
Can't get everybody.
you can't get everybody in.
Yeah.
But to me, I'm kind of stuck in the 70s and the 80s because that was to me, in my opinion, individual athletes. There've been some to come since then. I mean, I coached Scooter Taylor and Jahar Minson. When you talk about just players who got better as they potentially moved on, those are 2 players. Now I'll mention those 2. Those are 2 players that played college basketball.
FAU, right? Scooter.
Scooter did. Scooter played there in Lincoln Memorial. Jahar played out in the Midwest. They were probably better football players, in my opinion, than they were basketball players, but they were outstanding basketball players, which says something about in their work ethic. Those are 2 players I actually coached.
Scooter's work ethic was
It was their work ethic. Both of them was off the charts. I mean, when you talk about the time that they invested, like they made themselves better,
Russell were good baseball players.
they were.
Yeah.
They were. But the mentality wise, oh my God! I mean, those are 2 that I've coached. And I've coached at a couple places that game is on the line, they want the ball.
Right.
I watched Jahar tell Stroud, "Give me the you know what ball,"
Yeah.
and he meant it. And I'm sitting in the back like, yeah, give him the ball. There's no question. We want the ball in his hands because he believes that no matter what, he wants that. And that's the kind of player you really want. You want that player in those critical moments that they're not afraid of the moment. And they're not afraid of it because they've invested so much time that it's just another thing to them. So, hey, that's my list. I could definitely have added a couple more guys, but those are the ones that I definitely want to go with.
No, that was great. Yeah.
Talent.
Send me those names so I can make sure I
I
get
will.
them all right.
I will, absolutely.
Yeah, man. I knew this was going to be good, but it was great. Thank you so much. I knew.
This will be one we can upload the whole thing to YouTube.
Right. Yeah.
And then just let it go.
Let it eat.
Yeah.
Okay. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Glad I
fantastic.
could help. I thank you guys because this is needed. This is one thing that I needed in our hometown. You know, we have a Mac mentioned earlier. We can always point to the negative, but this is one.
easy.
This is it. It's just like losing. Losing's easy. Losing and quitting and negativity are easy. Those are easy things to really just poke holes at. But what really requires work is when you want to be successful. It requires work because you have to do it every day, and you can't let little things discourage you. And so, I want to do as much as I can for my community. And I love my community, and so I appreciate anything that's positive going on. I'm glad you guys are doing this. We just need to continue.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.